Joining me today is a good friend of mine, Cody Miller. He is a fourth generation floor finisher. He's with and related to York Miller, and I'm going to find out what the relationship is between York Miller and Chester Road. It's going to be a great conversation. I always enjoy talking to him.
That I used to do, and I've stopped because of, like I said, my first kid. He's 8 years old. His name's Parker, but we call him Moose because he's 7 years old because he's so just big and tall and strong, and he plays football and he plays baseball, and so his nickname is Moose, and he's extremely clumsy like a moose. Anyways. But what I used to do when I would get home from a super stressful day of work, I'd go and run in my neighborhood. Say, I'm about a quarter mile from the Greenway, so I'd run to the Greenway and run 2-3 miles, come back home. I would feel like a new man.
It's like a drug.
It truly is. Like everything that I had just came home to, all the stresses from work, and it just, as soon as I finished running, it just went away.
The answers are easier too, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
The how to fix this is, that's not bad, I'll do that.
It just clears your mind.
On the Courthouse Square at 30 2nd Street is the law firm of Logan Thompson Law. Since 1965, they have served the legal needs for the good citizens of Cleveland-Bradley County. If you've got a problem, they're no problem. Give them a call.
So, do you still bike?
Yeah, I haven't in about 2 weeks because of too much stressful jobs, but it's like a drug. If you could put that into a pill, you could make millions.
That's right.
But I don't know if you have to do all that. I watch TV at night. I like to watch those old sitcoms. And that seems to help me. But there's no real cure for life.
There's not.
It's just in the way.
Yeah, it is. And you got to find out, what works for you. What can you do that takes your mind off of, what you're doing during the day. I know going to my son's football practices, baseball practices, we sit out there for 2 hours. It's Bradley Youth. Their football program is absolutely incredible. And so sitting out there for 2 hours and just watching him hit boys or run or whatever it is, that to me, it's enjoyable, and it takes my mind off of everything else, and I really.
And you realize everybody else out there's got stresses too. All the parents.
That's right.
It's a stress trying to get there.
You can tell it's a stress trying to get there. That's right. But you can tell the dads who own their own business. I can, anyways. Who own their own businesses or have a higher role in a business versus somebody that just works a regular 9 to 5.
They get there early.
That's usually. That's right. And usually the ones that own their own business, their face is red, their blood pressure's been high all day, and you can just tell. You can tell.
Owning your own business is not what it's cracked up to be, is it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, I would say the only way a man can do it and be good at it is if you enjoy what you do. And that for me and you, it's a generational thing. I was brought up in this, doing floors.
Where does the You see, I worked for my Uncle Joe, and he used Larry Miller then. I think he used the York Miller. Where does the York Miller come in?
So that's a good question. So my grandmother, Brenda Miller, her maiden name is York. And her dad's name was Frank York.
Was that the cabinet people?
No, so that's our cousins.
Cousin, okay.
So it would be Frank's brother, who JD, who owned the cabinet shop. But Frank, he started doing floors back in 1963. He started with tile, and then moved on to the Torganol floor finishing. You remember that old Torganol?
Yeah. My uncle used to put it in. I guess Frank probably because that was a big thing.
Oh, huge.
That came right after
huge.
the hardwood floor craze.
It did. It was it after or was it right before?
The hardwood floors was like these floors here. They're those 1 inch pieces.
Yes.
They're like set on the edge.
Yes.
And that was what they used back in the 1930s.
And you can't go and just buy this floor anymore.
You can't even get it.
And
it's white pine.
Yeah, I love refinish.
Whereas now we get kind of a redder pine.
That's right.
That's a slightly. You can't get this browner look with the red.
Well, what it is back in the day when they cut the tree down to mill a floor out of it, the tree that they cut down was 150 years old.
Yep.
So then what they had to do is, as you know, when they cut those trees down, they had to replant new trees, okay? Well, now we're cutting trees down that are only 20, 30 years old. That's the color difference. That's why if you have a 100-year-old house that has heart pine floors in it, and you go to a local mill to buy heart pine wood to patch in an area, it don't look nothing like each other, because you have a 150-year-old tree, that them floors were made out of, versus a 30-year-old tree. So it just don't look the same.
Well, did Larry marry Brenda? Is that how he started doing floors?
It is.
What was he doing before then?
What was Papaw doing before?
You call him Papaw, I call him Larry.
Papaw, let's just call him Larry for the sake of it. So Larry, I think him and my grandmother Brenda met so young. I think he was about 19 years old. Now, he did odd and end jobs through high school. He's always been a real hard worker, worked with his hands, just a man's man. But, they met at a really young age, and he just kind of fell into the business. And at that time, we were just getting started. And, Larry, he came in. And
but now back up. Doug Miller is your cousin also, right?
Doug Miller.
He does vinyl floors, or did vinyl floors. His sons Gary and Red.
I'm not sure.
You're related to them. I think they're related to Larry.
Doug Miller.
Doug Miller. Live down on Eureka Road. I
don't know. I really don't know. I don't know any floor guys with the Miller last name that we're related to.
Well, you're related to him because I remember Larry telling me.
Okay.
And Doug telling me.
Okay.
So anyway, so he marries Brenda.
So let's back up a minute. So Brenda, or as I call her, Mamaw, when she was 16 years old, her dad started the business around that time, and her mom had really bad health issues. Her sugar, she was a diabetic. So Brenda, she would take care of her mom, and then also at the same time go to school, and then keep books for her dad. So she was keeping books for her dad since she was 16 years old. And then, so her and Larry, my grandfather, met, and I don't know what year that was in, but they met, and then they got married, and then not long after that, they started buying her dad out of the business, and then not long after that, he passed away. So you know, it's we've been going ever since.
And just never changed the name?
No, so we think it's important to keep the York Miller because, well, number one, right now, everybody when you think of floors, you think, oh, York Miller, you know, or refinishing hardwood floors. Who do you call York Miller? You know, right? It's synonymous. You know, it's just.
Right.
But no, I think they did it out of respect for her dad, you know, and his legacy and her maiden name. I think out of respect and honor to him, I think they just incorporated the York and then incorporated Larry Miller Floor Company. And it's been that ever since. And so long as I'm running it, it'll stay York Miller Floor Company. Because it's part of our history, you know, it's part of our history.
And what about Darren?
So Darren, he worked with us for, you know, in the business off and on for a little while, and now I think he's driving trucks for Wholesale Supply.
Is that right?
Yes, he's driving trucks for them.
I bet he'll be good at it. I went to school with him.
Yeah, so he's a real good truck driver. He is a very good truck driver. So he grew up driving tractors on the family farm. You know, Mama and Papa, they have a little 15-acre little farm there.
Well, they keep it up, don't they?
They do.
Is that on Chestury Road?
It is. I heard you talking to Frank Lowry on the discussion.
Yeah.
Was that
he was just down the road?
Yeah.
Right?
Where does he live? I was wondering that.
I'm not sure, but his family was raised at the end of York Road.
Okay.
And Chestury.
Okay.
And he owns the property across the street and goes around that little cemetery that's right on the road. It's got some graves right across from the church.
Yeah, my dad is buried in the cemetery right across from the road there.
Well, so he's right. I mean, it's just almost in the road.
Yeah.
That cemetery.
Yeah, I've always
So
remembered
Frank
that.
owns all that property around it.
Now, does Frank have a brother?
He has a brother.
Okay. What is his name?
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you.
Okay.
And I think since they may have divided that up.
I got you.
But this was, and when I say since, I mean 6 months ago.
Now, you know, they bought that originally
from the Indians,
from the Indians.
Yeah.
You want to hear?
I think it was like 2,000 acres.
Oh, my gosh.
It was a bunch.
You know what's interesting, and I wonder if it's correlated. I believe, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Frank's family came from North Carolina.
They did?
The Yorks, okay, they came from North Carolina as well. So coming from the same state, and now they're neighbors here in Cleveland, Tennessee.
And that's happened a lot.
It has.
I don't know why.
But
there must be something.
You wonder if they were neighbors or something, or they knew each other back. I said, hey,
Yeah.
you know.
And then you'll find a lot of people that were from Greasy Creek that are neighbors today.
That's
so
right.
I think there's some relation to there.
Yeah, there's
Wonder if
something
York
to
Road's
that.
related to your grandfather. I'm sure it
It
is.
is. So it all originates to Abraham York. Okay. He was the original York who came from North Carolina to Cleveland, Tennessee. And he had, now I believe he traded for that land. You know, I believe he had around 500 to 1,000 acres at one time. But he had all that land. And he,
Maybe all of York Road, which is pretty long road.
More than likely, yeah. And now Abraham, I actually have a picture of Abraham.
Yeah, show it to us.
Yeah, let's see if we can find it here.
Take your time. We're in no rush.
All right.
See if I can get it.
I'm going to say that.
Abraham York. Man, wonder
He
how
looks
old
like
that,
an Abraham.
wonder how long that would have been.
Goodness gracious.
That would have been your grandmother's dad's father, probably.
So let's see. So Abraham is my great grandfather. Three greats. My great grandfather. I hope it pulls up here. It's pulling up food for some reason. But let's see here. Oh, I wish I could find him. But
How did you get that picture?
So Michael York, he owns the cabinet shop, York Cabinets. They're we're in the same compound. They're right across the road from us there. And him and his wife Creta and some of their relatives, they've done a lot of studying into the lineage of the York name, and he actually has a picture of Abraham York. Michael York does with
That
York
would have
Cabinets.
been 1850,
Had
something
to have
like
been.
that.
Had to have
After the Indians were here, and
been. Yeah. It's in, of course, black and white, and he has a big blonde beard and blonde hair, just kind of scruffy looking. And so he settled all that land, and he had about 4 different wives. Okay, and at first when I heard that, I thought, well, he was a promiscuous man, But come to find out, a lot of his wives end up dying. Back then, if you got sick or something, it was a 50-50 chance whether you'd live or not. They didn't have the technology that we do today, so a lot of his wives ended up dying, and the Yorks, they branch off of the Gatlins. There's some Gatlins in there. We're connected to the Gatlins. You know Gatlin Road?
yeah,
Okay.
but that's on the other. That's way on the other side, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah, Gatlin Road is. But it's all right there, but it's all connected.
Now, where is Gatlin Road?
I want to say it's right off of Chestuie Road. It's off of Chestuie Road.
Okay, I think it might dead end or something, or did dead end.
I think it. Let's see. Right. And I could be wrong, but right before, say you're coming from the cemetery and you're going to Brendan Larry's house, that road on the left, right before that you get to their house, I think that's Gatlin Road, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and that goes by Jackie Evans' daughter's house, where Todd used to live.
Yes.
That's a nice road.
It is.
And there's another road that turns off of that. That may be Gatlin Road. And I believe it does dead end.
Yeah.
So what would you consider now? Why did you not live in the Chestuie community?
I'm so glad you asked. So it is my lifelong dream to get out there, to get onto Chestuie Road and to buy some land. Right now, my wife and I, we live right across from, the old neighborhood, the Church of God headquarters, international offices that they built for their pastors back in the day.
Yes, I think.
Mac Street.
No.
Right across from the Church of God International offices, right over here.
Just right here?
Right here.
Okay.
We live in that
neighborhood.
Yeah,
the Royal Drive. Is that Royal Drive?
No, I believe it's Oakland or Highland.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
I know what you're talking
Mac
about.
Street.
Yeah, Steve Morgan lives over there.
Steve Morgan, Ricky Talent?
I know him, yeah.
He lives...
But I know Steve Morgan lives on Pine, I think.
Pine, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're talking about the same street. Yeah, that's off of, that's right behind us. So that's where we live now, but Brendan Larry, they had to purchase that land from, from Mamaw's cousin. And they bought about 13 acres, right? So there wasn't, on her side, there wasn't a big inheritance of land. Now there's a number of Yorks that have a bunch of land, but on her side there wasn't a lot of land. So she bought her and Brendan Larry. They bought that from her cousin, and they built the house there. But yeah, I really would like to. So it's family land all down through there. I'm sure one of these days I can talk to one of my family members and see if I can buy, 10, 15, 20 acres and build a house there one day. That's
Wonder
the
what
goal.
they'd call Chestatee community. Wonder how far that goes and how did it get the name of a community? Because if there was ever a store there or anything.
Chestatee. You think it traces back to the Indians? Because you have Chestatee Creek,
Chestatee Creek.
and that runs all the way through Etowah.
All the way through Etowah, through Frank's property.
Yep.
All the way to the other way, I guess, to Cohutta or Conestoga.
That's right. That's exactly right. Don't tell Frank, but when I was a little kid, I used to go back there and play in the water in the creek there, and you'd see all sorts of wildlife back there. It's the most beautiful piece of land. It's kind of low and swampy in areas, but it's such a beautiful piece of land. There's a lot of wildlife back there.
It takes a good 15 minutes to get out there.
It does, yeah.
Go down Benton Pike. I remember one time in high school, I was in the FFA, and we went out to Larry's house for some reason. They had the cattle, I guess.
Cattle, yeah, he was big into that.
Yeah.
Darren, Dad,
yeah.
and Larry.
Your dad was what, 2 years younger than me? What would he be today?
He was 2 to 3 years younger than Darren.
And Darren was my age.
So 3 years younger than you.
Yeah. Seems like he was 2 grades behind me, though, not 3 grades.
Okay.
So it might have been on the cusp of a year or something.
Yeah, could have been. He was a good man, wasn't he?
He was.
Dad, he was a good.
Your whole family is.
Well, I appreciate that. I really do.
He was. You miss him, I guess.
I do. He died when I was 5 years old. I don't have a ton of memories of him. I only have a few.
What are they?
Well, it's funny you'd ask. There was one memory I have. He was. I was at Larry and Brenda's house, Mama and Papa, and he came over, and I was into Toy Story at the time, and he bought me Woody. Okay, just look, who Woody is, and gave me the little figurine of Woody, and that I still have that to this day. And my kids play with him. My kids play with the Woody he gave me, and that's about. The only memory I have of him. Not many. He passed away when I was so young. I hear a lot of stories about him. Everybody I talked to who knew him, which is really getting. Just further and further. There's not many people I talked to who knew Dad.
Well, I knew him. I really knew him.
Everybody I talked to who knew him say one thing about him, and they say he would have given the shirt off his back to anybody who needed it. And
he was just a regular guy like that. He wasn't
dude.
Just a normal dude.
Yeah.
Darren always ran around with one guy from, I think, maybe Georgetown or something. I remember him and that guy stayed. And your dad hung around somebody. I can't remember his name. I think your dad had FFA too.
He did. Memo, or Brenda, sorry. I can't help but to call her Memo. Brenda, she, in her basement, she still has trophies they were huge into cattle.
Cattle judging, I think.
That's right.
That's right.
You know the Spanglers.
Nope.
In town, Jason Spangler, Patrick Spangler. He's so Patrick Spangler is the principal at Ocoy Middle School.
At Bradley.
Or at Bradley. Yeah, old Bradley. Yes, and. I'm about to do his floors. He needed them started about 3 weeks ago. So I got to get on that. So Jason Spangler, he owns an orthopedic, I think he's an orthopedic surgeon here in town. So their grandfather was a Kaywood. I'm not mistaken, the K Woods. And the K Woods and Brendan Larry, the Millers, Dad, Darren, Brenda, Larry, they'd all get together and show cattle together. And that was a big thing back in the day.
Oh, it was a big thing. In fact, in FFA, I was on the cattle judging team. I think that's why we went out there. I think Darren was on it too, and I think your dad was because I think I was in FFA my 12th year, and I think he was there in the 10th year. I think he was in FFA too.
Okay. So you were actually on the judging team.
I was on the judging team, yeah.
Wow. So did you have land growing up?
No.
No.
I was like you. I just wanted land.
That's right.
I had to go to Knoxville and everything for the cattle judging contest.
What qualified you for that? Did you know cattle, or you just
No.
knew what looked good and what didn't?
They had a book that showed the different parts and the thing, and you just looked at that. And,
Okay.
Okay. So.
Wow.
But I think that we went to Knoxville on a cattle judging thing, and I think your dad was on that trip.
I would say so.
If I'm not mistaken.
I would say so.
Because the cattle judging team wasn't just that class, it was several classes.
That's right.
Because he would have been in FFA. Of course, in FFA, we didn't do much of anything.
Yeah.
But talk and chew tobacco.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, Dad or Darren, I forget which one, actually had a full ride scholarship to get. I think it was Darren. Darren, if I'm not mistaken, had a full ride scholarship to go to UTK, showing cattle.
For that, is that?
That's right. Wonder if they give those out anymore.
They do.
Interesting, because I love cattle. That's one of my hobbies. I told you I kind of quit running because everything got so hectic. But every chance I get, I go out to Brendan and Larry's house, and they have 6 cattle now, and I take care of the cattle and just kind of do farm work out there.
What would you do with 6 cows?
So that's a good question. So 3 of them are actually cows. They have been bred, and they're actually pregnant. They should be pregnant right now. And the other 3 are steers. So what we're going to do with the 3 mamas, they're going to keep giving us steers, or they're going to keep giving us babies. And the 3 steers that we have right now, they're going to be food. We'll take them to a processing plant, and they last our family. We split it up 3 different ways, and 2 good steers will last us 1.5 years, 2 years. So we don't have to buy hamburger meat.
Is that right?
We
just
know
put it in a big freezer?
I have 2 big deep freezers. You know where your meat came from?
Who does the slaughtering? Or
this
packaging?
Company up in Georgia.
Because there's not any. Used to there was several.
Yeah. There's a lot of them, but you have to really be careful who you go with these days. There's one up in Decatur that's really good, but they stay booked out. I mean, they're so good, they stay booked out 1 year.
So if you had a cow, you can't even get it butchered for 1 year.
If you go with that specific company, people wait on them because they're just that good.
How could you wait?
I don't know. I would say a farmer probably could, if you're an actual farmer, you could probably predict when your cattle are going to have babies and what's going on. But a person like me, there's a place, like I said, up in Georgia, I believe it's called North Georgia Meat Company, and they're clean. They have a super clean facility, and I just call them, and still they're booked 6 months out. So I have to call them 6 months before.
What is it about our society that everybody's booked? How booked are you?
We're about 1.5 months booked out, and that's.
And you could make that 2 months with no problem. I mean, you could just, you'd
yes.
rather have to, you're having to fib to say 1.5 months, I guess,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
How many jobs would you have going right now?
Goodness, between installation, sanding and finishing, and jobs I'm getting set up that we're fixing to start, I would say about 15 to 20.
Is that mind-boggling?
Yes, it is.
You keep it on a yellow pad or what?
Some of it's in here on my phone. Some of it's wrote down at the shop. Some of it's in my backpack. That's one thing I got to get better at. I got to get I was thinking about using technology to help me to do this, but I've got to find a way to get all of my jobs into one place and get them organized. And then that way I know, hey, this is here. Because I have, on my desk at the office, I have when I'm going to start each job, but then you also have jobs that you got to go measure. I got 5 this week that I have to measure.
To give them a price.
To give them a price and to look at their floors, it's, you never get it off your mind. You're always thinking about a job. Always. Always. It never, you go to sleep with it on your mind.
And did we finish and did they like it? Now you got to bill them.
That's right.
Don't forget to do that.
You have to keep up with, and then do you have enough sandpaper for the next job? Do you have enough finish for the next job?
And when you took a job and told them you'd do it in 3 weeks, did you think about the guy that you're going to have doing it that was going to take off that week, right?
That's right. There's that too. And then you have some jobs take longer than you expect. So that messes your schedule up,
Oh, always. Another 3 days or a day and a half or 2 days where you forgot to factor in 4th of July or Memorial Day.
That's right. Yeah, if you factor all that in, it's really hard. We try our very best to keep everybody on schedule, but you seem to always be chasing your tail and running a little behind.
So you got to have installers? Mm-hmm. What about the ones where you have to order the wood? You got that too, I guess, right?
Take care of that as well, yeah. And then you actually have to have the wood ordered and delivered no less than 72 hours before you can start installing it so it can acclimate to the temperature of the home.
So you got to factor that in.
You have to factor that in, yeah. There's a lot to it. And then my grandmother Brenda has a saying. She says, in the flooring business, by the time it comes around to do somebody's floors, they're out of time and out of money.
Like a wallpaper hanger.
And you think about that.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost a few of the last ones in, and by then they're out of time. You're a contractor. You already went beyond your schedule and out of money. You already went over budget. So we usually get beat over the head pretty good sometimes.
Do you ever do pre-finished floors? Do you do that too?
So I sell and install pre-finished floors. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do that. We sell and install engineered flooring, and we sell and install luxury vinyl plank. Now, to be honest with you, I would like to keep my scope of work to sanding and finishing, and then I'll sell and install pre-finished flooring.
What did you say, vinyl plank?
Yeah, the luxury vinyl plank.
Oh, yeah, LVT or
LVP, yeah.
Or LVP.
Yeah, it's not as reliable as a wood floor.
It's really not.
It's not.
You get so many different grades of that.
That's right.
They can have a bad run on it and not even be the grade. It's just a bad run of that material.
That's right.
You ever have it curl up some?
Oh, yeah. And
it just curls that much, it stops.
That's right. And then that's on you, if that happens. So
I built a building for some people, and they specified that kind, and it curled up like that, and they didn't like it. Then they wanted me to do a renovation. I said, "You want me to use the same floor?" And they said, "Yeah, it's fine." So it didn't bother them later.
Wow.
It just bothered them then.
Isn't that something?
It was just...
Huh.
But at the time, it was a big deal.
Yeah. Wow. But then again,
you have to use the specific glue that's specified for that specific LVT.
Product. So you're covered.
Yeah, you got to use it. If you don't,
right.
And the reason is that some of them's compression glue and some's not.
That's right. That's right. You know your stuff. So if you ask me, my honest opinion, being in the flooring world since I was 10 years old, I'm 31 now. I would say if you stick to your hardwood, whether it's unfinished and us coming in there and giving you a custom finished floor, pre-finished or engineered, that's your safest bet. Those are, a wood floor is the most reliable.
Well, the LVT, if you go back and repair it later, they don't make that same run.
That's right.
It's like putting 50 pieces of carpet in your house or shingles.
Yes,
It's just not going to match.
Yes.
I don't like it. I don't like the LVT.
No, I'm not a big fan of it. It really blew up. What would you say? 8 years ago?
8 years ago, and everybody thought it was a big deal. And
The best thing around.
Then they came out with the PLV, the luxury vinyl plank
Yes.
LVP. I tell you what I like is VCT.
Now tell me a little bit about that.
Well, VCT is those square.
The squares that's in hospitals.
Yeah,
and-
you can't beat that
You
stuff,
can't,
man.
can ya?
You put it down, it's there forever.
Yes.
You can put something on top of it. All you
Yes.
have to do is buff and wax
Wax
it once
it.
a
Keep
year
some wax
or
on it.
every 2 years.
Yes.
And
Now,
did you ever go down to Cope's restaurant
No, where's that at?
on King Edward, Blythe Avenue?
No.
King Edward. Anyway, they had VCT in there,
Okay.
and it had little ruts where people would stand in front of the cash register. And that place has been there for 100 years.
Wow.
You can't beat it.
Is the restaurant still there?
I think they tore it down
Did they?
like in the last 3 months.
That's a shame. I like to see, and this might be the hardwood floor guy in me, but I like to see something renewed rather than torn down and just build something new.
Even if
over.
it's not, I like things that are old
Yes.
and leave them as there is. Not even like this house here is built in 1933, and
Wow.
I haven't done anything except painted it.
Yeah. Wow.
And I like it. I like the old stuff.
I do too.
I mean, I just don't fix it.
That's
just
right.
leave it.
That's right. Because the things you're repairing, let's say your paneling or something. If you was to replace it with the paneling they have today, it's not going to be as good.
It'd fall off.
It'd fall right off.
I've got a ghost in here.
Do you really?
I really do.
Tell me about the ghost.
Well, this from here over, it was added on to. But
Okay.
if you're working here at night, you can hear the guy on that side of the house.
Are you kidding me?
Do
you hear just the walking?
I'll be in, see, a lot of people have keys here
Okay.
and know the code. So it's
Okay.
not unusual for somebody just to walk in. But to walk in and just gently walk down the hall and then, well, the other night I was sitting here working
Mm-hmm.
and I heard somebody walk down the hall and they stopped right here. And I thought, well, in a minute they're going to say, hey, Dee, or I'm getting coffee, or
Yeah.
stop by to use the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I just kept working. So about 5 minutes later, I realized nobody ever said anything.
Wow.
So I got up, walked around, and there was not a soul here.
My goodness.
And one night, I was sitting here working, and I heard it's not a total footprint. It's like walking consistently down the hall. It's like every third step or
Yes,
something. But you
yes.
can tell it's in the rhythm of a step.
Right.
And
right.
And they said, hey, Dee. And I said, yeah, I'll be up there in a minute. And I went up there, and there wasn't a soul here.
Does that not creep? Does that creep you out?
It does. It does.
Oh my gosh.
Especially that night when they walked right here,
God.
and I never heard anybody else, but I could feel them looking at me.
Oh no. And there was nobody there.
There wasn't a
Oh,
soul
no.
here.
Now
but
that's creepy.
it's been doing it for a long time, so he's
a good one.
He means
He's a
no
good one.
harm. He means no harm.
He's a good old boy.
But he doesn't come past this new section.
Isn't that interesting?
It's weird.
My
It's the
goodness.
weirdest thing. His name was
Wow.
John Mitchell.
Oh, so you know that.
Well, I got his mailbox placard that goes on
Okay.
top of the mailbox.
Okay. Where's
name-
it at?
It's in the out in the shed.
Maybe you
His
should
name-
give that back to him. Maybe he's wanting that placard back.
You ever had any ghost experiences?
I actually have. When I was a young man, probably around, say, 10 years old, I lived off Lucky Leaf Trail at the time. Do you know where that is? Off of Durkee Road?
Yeah, that was, close to Calfee's.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that's where I was living at the time. And so my bedroom was here, and then here's our hallway, and then there's a bathroom here. And then down the hallway is our living room, and there was an old organ. Okay? Okay. So I was laying in bed. Something woke me up, and I was laying in bed, and I had to go pee. And all of a sudden, I heard that organ music playing from that organ. And I thought, there's no way I'm getting up and going to go pee. So I thought, well, if I got to pee on myself, I'll just pee on myself, but I'm not going to get up here and go. And then it stopped. So I thought, okay, we're good. So I walked across the hall in the bathroom. Meanwhile, I'm looking down the hall, and I kid you not, it's the creepiest thing that's ever happened to me. I see the shadow, what I thought of a man. Couldn't see the outline of I could see the outline of his face, it was just kind of black, walking step by step with me. And then I went back to bed and crawled under the covers, and that was it. But
Was you married at the time?
Oh, I was 11 years old.
Oh.
I was a kid. But I remember that so vividly.
Who was you living with?
My mother, and at the time my stepfather. Yeah. But mainly, Brenda and Larry. I mean, they pretty much raised me. They taught me everything there is to know about wood floors.
Did you stay there a lot?
I did. I loved being at their house. They, like I said, they have land, and you hear stuff back there, don't you? Is there
That's
anybody
something
else?
different. That's something different.
Okay. I heard. Did you hear that?
I got a raccoon that lives up there.
Oh, I got you. But
that's not what I hear. I know when he's in. He comes in. He'll go right to sleep.
You just let him hang out, don't you?
Yeah, don't hurt nothing.
That's nice.
His name's Sam.
Sam, he's got a name.
Sam.
You see him out walking?
Oh yeah, I'll feed him cat food.
There you go. That's funny. But
he's blonde, kind of a sandy blonde.
Really?
Yeah, it's an odd-looking raccoon.
Now I saw Alan in a Facebook video picking up a possum with his bare hands.
Yeah. Possums are different than
I thought they would tear you up.
Yeah. Raccoon won't bother you at all.
A raccoon won't.
They won't bother you at all.
Alan said that a possum will not bite you. He picked it up.
Possums
with his bare hands.
Possums won't come around you like a raccoon. A raccoon, if I come out there and he's not run completely off, I can sit there and feed him.
Oh wow!
And he'll eat, and I can feed him.
Wow!
Let me see if I got it right here.
Yeah, let me see. That's interesting. A pet raccoon.
Let's see. Hey Gwen, let's see. You can keep going. I'm gonna see if I got this right here. You won't believe it.
We need to turn this into a podcast.
This is a podcast.
Can you download it on Spotify? Can you get it hooked up to Spotify?
I think we can. Can't we, Gwen?
Yes. That would be amazing. Because, I go around when I'm coating jobs and sanding floors.
Do you ever listen to this while you're doing
All the
that?
time. All the time. I listen to the discussion.
Oh, do you seriously? You seriously do?
On everything. I actually have a gift for you, too. It's handcrafted. It didn't come here in time. I have a gift for you, but I'll give that to you once it's finished made, and you're welcome.
Handcrafted by who?
I'm not sure exactly. I just know it's handcrafted, but it wasn't here in time.
Do you really listen to this while you're riding?
I do. I've listened to Frank York's episode, okay, because I have a connection with him.
Right.
Logan Young, okay.
Well, I like him.
He's a good one, ain't he?
Good one.
So my cousin dated him for a long time.
Is that right?
And that's how I know him. You know the Massingills?
Yeah.
Okay, Emily Massengill, which is Brian Massengill's daughter, Brian and Tammy's daughter, dated him for a while in high school. So that's how I know him.
Well, she missed a good one.
He is
If your daughter came home with him, you'd be okay with it.
yeah, he's a good guy. Of course, she's married. She just got married to a really good guy from Chickamauga. He's a good man. She knows how to pick them. She knows how to pick them. She does. Emily Massengill is her name.
Emily.
She is a very good.
Is that your wife's name, Emily?
It is. Yeah, that's my wife's name as well.
Now, you went to Lee College.
I did. Well, that's where my wife and I actually met.
What were you studying to be?
Business.
How did you graduate?
I did. Well, I graduated so I went from Lee. I was there about a year and a half, and then I finished out at Cleveland State and graduated with an associate's. So
Did it help any?
No. Nothing's going to prepare you for this.
Not when you got to beat up a floor install.
Yeah. No.
What about Robert Bagby? He's a good one, isn't he?
He is. If you know how to take his humor or how he goes about things, you can get along with him just fine.
I'd trust him with anything, wouldn't you?
I would.
Anything.
I absolutely would. Yeah. He just, I'd say 4 years ago, gave his life to God, and you can truly see a difference. I mean,
well, he was always a good guy. Boy, he's strong too.
Yeah, he is.
Oh God, he's strong.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight him.
Oh, and he wouldn't fight. He's just as easygoing. But he's, him and him have the same birthday, I think.
Do you really?
I think he might be the 12th.
What's your birthday?
10th, November 10th.
November
I think his
10th.
is the 12th or the 9th.
12th or the 9th. His
Robert's
birthday is on the 12th.
Robert is 100% good guy.
You can put every dollar on what he says.
Every dollar. You can trust him more than you can trust me. I mean, he's really that good. That's trustworthy. And he'll help you if he can.
He will. He absolutely will. And it's good to have men like that around you.
You know, when you're on a job and you're working with these guys, they don't know how much you appreciate them. And you can't tell them. And you can't tell them. You don't have time.
I know.
You're just trying to get to the next spot.
Isn't that a shame, too? Because you really, deep down, you truly appreciate the hard work these guys do.
You know who I appreciate?
Who?
The guy that you don't use all the time, that you pull it, that you call him when you're in a bind, and he knows that you're not the guy you're using because you're using somebody else, but he still comes.
Yes. Well,
not because they're trying to knock the other guy out. They know that you're second in line, and they're okay with that, and they're going to help you in that area.
You know, it's funny you say that, because I feel like sometimes, as we can be like that as a company. Especially these new construction builders that are just trying to get homes built quickly and cheaply. We can't cater to that. We're all about quality. We're not going to sacrifice quality for a price. And products, the products we use they just cost more because they're better. They last longer. We did a job in Anatole 20 years ago. The lady called me, said, "Hey, Cody, this is so-and-so. Your grandfather Larry did my floors 20 years ago." I said, "Man, how can I help you?" She said, "I just want you to know the floors look as good as the day he left. I just want to change the color." But like I was saying, sometimes it's okay to be that guy because you just can't. When those custom jobs come around, you know your place.
You got to know your place.
You know where you fit in the puzzle. You got to know what puzzle piece you are. And that's with anything.
And it doesn't matter. It's not a negative on anybody.
Absolutely not. No.
Sometimes I don't use a certain sub because I know they won't get along with that customer. And it has nothing to do with the customer or them. I just know those personalities don't match.
That's wisdom. We were talking earlier.
That just comes from experience. You just know some people just don't get along with some people, and you can't make that work.
Yeah, no.
You can have a bad person tell a customer that likes them better they'll believe it over the good guy because
Yeah.
they get along with him better.
Yeah.
Customers don't realize how hard we try to make them happy.
I don't think they do. I really don't. Everything, most of the things done behind the scenes, you know, that
Oh,
you and I
Lord,
do.
yeah.
You told me, I noticed you said you were here the other night.
Yeah.
Guys like me and you, we're working during the day right alongside our workers, right?
Absolutely.
What people don't see is at night, we're at the office working.
Trying to get the next day organized. I don't like it any more than you do, but I can't do it. You know what I've noticed about these new subcontractors?
What is it?
They'll have it'll be like an electrical company, and they'll have their superintendent there, and they're never there. They'll have the plumbing company, and they'll have their worker there. They're never there.
Oh,
And 30 years ago, the owner, like you,
That's
they
right,
come
that's
by
right.
once, twice, 3 times a day.
Yeah.
If they're not there, they're half a mile down the road.
That's right.
They're on the way. They're coming. They check. They check. They check. And nowadays, they want to send the workers to the job
And to just forget about it.
and want me to manage them.
that's right. That's right.
And I'm not managing their plumber and their
Yes.
electrician
Well, it's just
and their sheetrock finisher. They need to be here doing that,
that's
not
right.
me.
That's right. And it's just different. I mean, people
It's
are just
different.
And I guess I try to do my best about being on the job, managing guys, you know, being there. And I get it. Sometimes people can get caught up on getting other
Sure,
jobs and stuff.
everybody knows that.
But I guess Larry, you know, imprinted in me at such a young age. He was always on the job.
He was either there or coming or just left.
That's right.
All day
he was
long.
always on
Always.
the job.
You have to.
That's why he
It
drives
doesn't work.
that. That's what keeps the quality level so good. That's why he drives that little HHR around.
Right.
That little bitty
Yeah,
Chevrolet.
it's cheap on
Cheap on
gas because you're
gas.
going to drive.
That's right.
Because you drive a big truck, you got
Oh,
that gas expense,
goodness.
and you're reluctant to go checking as much.
That's right.
When you're thinking about a big truck and everything.
Yeah, because you're thinking.
I always figured if I'm driving a big truck, I've mismanaged something.
I've heard you say that before, and this
Yeah.
proves that I listened
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
your podcast. You said that to Charlotte and
Charlotte, yeah.
Erica. You
Erica,
told
that's
them
right,
that.
that's right.
I was listening to that when I was on the mower a couple
Yeah.
days ago.
Well, aren't they interesting?
They were. They sure are.
Well,
Yeah.
that's 2 people you wouldn't want to tangle with.
Goodness gracious. They are fierce women.
They are fierce women.
Oh my goodness.
Smart too, aren't they?
Very
Both of them?
smart. Yeah, very smart. Yeah.
Does Larry? Does he eats with those same guys every day?
Every day. That's his thing, is getting out of the house, and that really keeps him going. You know what I mean?
He eats at Gondolier on Friday,
Okay.
and I think which day is Fazoli's? I think Fazoli's may be
Are you going?
Wednesday,
I was going to say Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he eats with Randy Howard,
Yes.
David Vincent,
Yes. Yep. And whoever else wants to
whoever
join.
else, but it's those 3.
Randy Howard, David, and
Wonder when him and David Vincent became such good friends.
you know, I don't know, but they are the best of friends.
They're the best of friends.
They really are. David is such a good guy.
Oh, he'll do anything for you.
He's very good on real estate, and he's got a lot of knowledge on
You know,
real
when I
estate.
first met him, he painted houses.
David did.
That was what he did. He painted
My
houses.
goodness.
He just painted houses.
Wow.
He's come from just painting houses. Nothing
could
wrong
not
with painting
imagine.
houses.
No,
that's
but I
where he
could-
came from.
It come
Oh,
from.
let me tell you this story.
Yeah.
So you know we're building out there on Hiawassee.
Uh-huh,
And so one day I'd had enough, and I just took off, and I turned there where those 3 big rocks are stacked on each other, and I just went down that road. I thought I'm gonna see where this goes, and I drove way back in the back, turned left, forged a creek. And I thought, well, I'm going somewhere I shouldn't be. You know, it was in Meigs County.
Yeah.
And I come across this guy that was talking to two other guys, and they was out there putting in fence posts. And I thought, boy, I've stumbled the wrong place.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I couldn't back up,
Yeah.
and it was David Vincent.
Was it really?
He must own that or something.
I believe he owns quite a bit of land right through there.
Well, it was. What are the odds of me seeing
Right.
him out in the middle of nowhere like that?
I know it. Isn't that odd?
That is odd.
You know, things just things come up like that. You did not know this, and you don't know this until I'm telling you this right now. But I have wanted to be on this podcast for the last year and a half.
It's fate.
It is, and then next thing I know, we're on the same job together.
That's the way
and
it
you
goes.
say, "Hey, Cody, you want to be on my podcast?" And I wanted to jump and say, "Yeah," but I kept it together like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do the podcast."
And we're just going to talk about the Chestatouille community, and we don't even really know what that is.
I have no idea. I
don't know where it goes from. Do you?
I don't either. I'll tell you an interesting story, and it may just be a story. Okay, so let's say that up front. But I heard that when the last, I'm speaking of the Lowrys and their land, because the Lowrys went, as soon as the Indians were leaving, they were walking in. So this is hearsay. As soon as that last Cherokee Indian, the chief left, one of the chiefs left, he put a curse on that land, and to curse all generations that owned it. I heard that. Now, I don't know how true that is, but they said that chief, as he was leaving, he did some sort of curse over the land, and whoever owned it, that they would be cursed. But that I don't know if I believe in stuff like that. But then you think, if you believe in good, you got to believe in evil. So if there's good in this world, there's evil in this world as well.
I think there's more out there than we realize.
You could be right.
I mean, I really do, because, we just, at one time they thought the earth was flat.
Mm-hmm.
And now they say it's round.
Can you imagine 200 years from now? I hear your buddy.
Yeah, Sam.
That's funny. Can you imagine, though, 200 years from now, how ignorant, if we could look back 200 years from now?
Well, let's just look back, 50 or 60 years ago? What was something that we did then that seems so silly now?
Well, I'm 31, so I don't know.
I remember when you used to go to restaurants and you didn't order a salad.
Oh, no
That
kidding.
was a foreign thing.
You didn't order it because they just brought it out
That
to
just
you?
wasn't a thing. You went to restaurants. Salad sort of came into a salad bar when
No
Shoney's
kidding.
had it. Yeah, you didn't do that.
Okay.
Especially when you didn't go out to eat much. You didn't order the salad too.
Yeah, that's...
Yeah.
See, I miss the days. I don't like going out to eat. Okay.
Me and you eat out. Where
Too
you?
much.
I've
much.
eaten everywhere. I've eaten everything they've got. I stopped at that 58 Shortstop last week, and they had something in there that was, I guess it was supposed to be a barbecue sandwich, but I was in such a hurry. I thought it was a sausage biscuit.
Oh, goodness.
And it was a
yeah. And we eat on the road a lot.
Well, I went out and finished pumping my gas, and I started eating. I thought, boy, that's pretty good. And I went in and got another one.
Yeah.
And then about 5 hours later, I realized I shouldn't have eaten it.
Uh-oh.
And
might have sat there a
where
little
do you
too-
like to eat?
Good. Home, if I'm being honest with you. But no, so you and I are on the road so much. The easiest choices are Taco Bell, just something quick for me. But my favorite places to eat, number one is home. I mean, truly, I don't care if it's Sloppy Joe's.
Sure.
I want to be at
You
home.
talking about at
eating.
night or during the day?
At night.
Yeah.
Now during the day, I usually go to be honest with you, I eat lunch every day around 12 to 2. It's late if I'm eating lunch at 2. But lunch is just inconvenient on the weekdays, just to be honest with you. There's so much going on, it seems to me like lunch is just so inconvenient, but you got to have it or you don't feel good. But, Taco Bell, That's really my main one. I'll tell you, Captain D's is pretty darn good.
Oh, it's tasty, isn't it?
They're pretty good.
They're pretty
To be
good.
considered a fast food chain,
It's good.
they're good. Wendy's, they're good. But my favorite sit-down restaurant has got to be Cheddar's because they got such good food.
Yeah, I like those wraps they got.
Oh, I
that
love
southern,
them.
southwestern wrap.
And have you tried their broccoli casserole?
No.
Oh my goodness, it is so good.
You ever eat at Stacy's up in Charleston during lunch?
No, but before it was Stacy's, I ate at that place.
Yeah,
a
it's a
long
barbecue
time ago.
place. It's really good and quick. They got a little buffet.
I'll have to try them because
How about the Quick Burger? That's a good place to get a hamburger.
Quick Burger is really good. Quick Burger, the chef has good breakfast. They have good
they
breakfast.
got a pretty good breakfast. Of course, Calfee's is the best.
We're there every morning. Every morning at 8 o'clock, you'll see us there.
Well, I'm
Filling up
there
our
about
vans.
10 after.
10 after
About
8.
15 after, yeah.
I don't know how I miss you.
I'm so fast. By
Are
the time
you?
I
In
just
and
start pumping gas, and of course it depends on if I'm, lately I've been there twice in 3 weeks.
I got
Because
you.
it depends on, I sort of go where I'm headed.
That's right.
Green
That's
Acres is pretty good. They got
I
good
love
biscuits.
Green Acres now.
Yeah.
I fully. If you were to, there's places that you want to support, and Green Acres
Yeah.
is one of them for me.
They got good biscuits. I think they buy them from the same people
Oh.
because they taste about the same.
I think so. That's a possibility.
But but you can go to the Calfee's and get a bologna sandwich at lunch. Bag
Do you
of
do
chips.
that?
Oh
I
yeah,
was wondering. Okay.
that's quick.
See, now I do that sometimes because, like I said, some days lunch is just
They'll
inconvenient.
serve more bologna sandwiches than
Guarantee
most
it.
fast food restaurants serve.
I
And
guarantee
all it
it.
is a bologna sandwich and maybe a BLT.
Two pieces of bread and some bologna and cheese.
That's it. Tomatoes or whatever and mustard.
That's
They
right.
already put it on there for you, and you can see them washing their hands. I like that.
They're very Calfee's is very clean.
And the Cokes are good. They're good Coke with the ice.
The actual machine?
Oh yeah, it's
Never
better.
tried it.
Oh, it's good fresh.
It's really good.
Really good. You can
Okay.
get that. You can don't put much ice in it.
Don't put much ice in it because it gets watered down.
Well, and you get more Coke. That
That's
ice,
right.
That
You
ice
get-
will trick you.
It will. That sometimes when I go to fast food restaurants, I'll say, just give me a quarter cup of ice.
Yeah.
So you get more drink.
Yeah.
Because they'll fill it up all the way with
I went
ice.
to McDonald's here about a month ago. First time I'd been in 5 years, I guess. And I ordered I don't even remember. It's just a hamburger. It was $18.
It's ridiculous.
I went back in there and I said, hey, I think
No.
I wouldn't have done it if it's 8 or 7,
Yeah.
but 18. I thought they've charged me twice. That was what it cost.
Is that not insane? Imagine this,
insane.
Dee. When we, as a family, I'll name off my kids. Okay, let's see if I have a picture of them. I'm gonna show you this picture, but so there's Charlie Joe. She actually goes to the same preschool. Alan's granddaughter, they go to preschool together. So there's Charlie Joe. She's 3. There's Moose. That's
Moose,
his nickname.
yeah.
Everybody knows Moose. Just sticks with you. And then there's Jack. We call him Jack. And then there's my wife Emily. Such a beautiful woman. I mean, just the best wife a man could ask for. So to go and eat dinner at Taco Bell, okay, when we're coming home from football practice, can you guess how much money it would be for us to get some food?
Well, I would have normally said $20 or 18, but it might be $40. I don't know.
$40 to $50.
Golly.
Is that not absolutely mind blowing? And that is not buying anything extra.
Used to, we didn't
It's
even
just
know what it
combos.
cost. It was so cheap.
I know. It's gotten absolutely ridiculous. I'm trying to show you pictures here. So here's Moose. He's 7. Remember, he's
Golly.
7 years old. How big is that boy?
Boy, he's big.
Big old
He
boy.
got big legs. Look at. Can you get that, Gwen?
There he is, running that ball.
He's in stride there.
He is.
He looks like Larry from here up.
Do you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me show you my youngest, and then let's see what you say, because I think my youngest is Larry's twin. Let me see here. I always go to my wife's Facebook page because she's always posting pictures of her kids. All right, there they are. The dynamic trio.
Oh, yeah, that bottom one's Larry for sure.
Jack, he
Yeah.
looks just like Larry, does he not? He's got blonde hair and blue eyes. There he is.
And got his personality.
He does. I would say Charlie, my daughter, she's got the personality of Brenda. I've had grown men tell me, they say, I would never want to go toe to toe.
She's going to be trouble, isn't she?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. She's she wants it her way. She knows when she wants it, and she wants it. It's just she's just got in her head a way she wants things done.
If you're a man, you want to raise an independent daughter, you've raised an independent daughter. It's a double-edged sword.
It is, because she kind of just come out like that. I mean, she's so independent, it's
Well,
scary.
I got news for you. After about 6 months, they are what they are.
Oh, goodness.
They don't, whatever they
They
are.
don't change. How many
I got
kids?
two.
2 kids?
Yeah.
Both boys?
Yeah. In about 6 months, they were what they are.
Are you kidding?
And there's no changing it.
Oh, my gosh. So I do have my hands full with Charlie.
Whatever they are is what they are.
Wow.
I got a good friend, he's 93.
Okay.
And he's real meticulous and real everything. And I said, hey, what's the best way to raise kids? And he said, I raised them all this. He said, I got 4 kids. I raised them all the same. I got 3 of the best kids you could ask for.
Wow.
So in other words, there's nothing you can do. One of them was not.
Yeah, I get it. Isn't that's a statement though? I mean,
It is. That's what he told me when I thought, and then I started noticing about 6 months, they're just what they are.
and you just do your best.
You just try to tell them what's not to cheat people, and other than that, make them aware that they're responsible for their own decisions. Past that, I don't know if you can do anything.
That's a scary thought because you care so much about.
Well, it's almost liberating
Okay, I see how I can
because
understand
there's
that.
not much you can do
I can understand
unless
that.
I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. But you know, we try to keep our kids in church. You know, we try
That
to keep.
helps.
I think it does. You know,
That helps.
We try to keep them in church.
Where you go to church?
Lakeview Community Church. Do you know where the old Curtis ball fields used to be? Off of Turkey Road.
Well, that was what we called Mike Burke Park.
That's it.
Yeah.
So our church.
Well, you are young.
Yeah, I am young.
Yeah.
Our church bought those ball fields.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where we.
Is that Lakeview Drive or something like that?
Lakeview Drive. It is. Yeah, it sure is.
High water table.
Yeah. We yeah. So we have something every year. It's during the 4th of July called the Freedom Celebration, and I help with the fireworks and everything. And we probably have I'd say 1,000 to 2,000 people that come out and watch our fireworks show the 4th
For the 4th of July?
It is one of the best around here. We put on one of the best fireworks shows
What
around
religion
here.
is that?
It's non-denominational. Well, no, I'm sorry. It's a Church of God. It's
Church of God. A
Yeah.
branch of the Church of God? Or
It's just Church of God, yeah.
why wouldn't you go out to Chestatee Baptist Church?
You know, I don't know. I was, okay.
Because that's where your heritage is.
It is. So I was raised Church of God my whole life. You know, Brenda and Larry, they go to Ocoy Church of God. Do you know where that is?
Is it on the main road going out on the
main
right?
road, right there.
Yeah.
No, on the right is Shiloh Baptist. On the left
Okay,
is
a little
Ocoy.
further down.
A little further
Yeah.
down. So that's So I was basically raised in that church. So there's this man that I consider like family whose name's Craig Dillard, and Emily and I my wife and I, we were not, this was about 5-6 years ago. We were not going to church at the time. And he kept calling me, hey, Cody, come and visit our church. And I'd say, yeah, I'll try to make it. And no, I ain't going, And then he just kept on and kept on and kept on and kept on. And finally, one Wednesday, I thought, okay, I'll go. So Emily and I went, and I'll tell you what, the minute we walked through those doors, I felt the Lord say, home. I just felt a feeling of this is home. And it's been our home church ever since. I mean, we just, it's like the members of that church are an extension of our family.
Well, it's not far from it, from
the shop and no, it's right there off 64 highway. If I could just get me a house built off 64 highway, I'd be the happiest man alive. That's my shop is off 64. My church is off 64. That's just where I naturally.
It used to be called Airport Road.
64 water level highway did?
Before that, it was Airport Road.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wonder why
they used to land airplanes there.
On the main strip.
On the main road.
My goodness. How things have changed.
Things have changed.
Isn't
that funny that I remember that and you have no clue?
No clue.
And you're even.
That's why
makes
it's
me
important.
feel old. Makes me feel old, but
you're not old. How are you? How old are you? 75? No, I'm just playing.
I'm so young you wouldn't believe it.
You are. Let me take it. You said so. You're Darren's age, so you're 56.
58.
58.
Yeah,
okay. You do good for 58 though. See, I see you on the job site go the way you do.
I feel like I felt when I was 20.
Yeah, you do really
different.
good.
I feel no different.
You mentally, you don't feel like you're 58 either, do you?
None.
See, I'm 31, and I still feel like I'm in my early 20s. Like I shouldn't be in my 30s.
Well, you hit a dead spot from your 30s.
What do you mean?
Well, you'll sort of start getting sluggish.
Oh, don't tell me that.
30s are a blur.
Because you're going so fast?
Yeah, 40s slow down.
I can see
40 to 50 is a good age.
Okay. Yeah, because right now it's...
But 30s are just, you'll wake up tomorrow and you'll be
building.
41.
And look, a man told me one time, he said, you don't, as a young man, you don't start acquiring things until you get about 30 years old. Mm-hmm. And that's true.
And you got to work through your 30s to keep it.
Oh, my gosh.
Keep from losing it.
I would, and with young kids, I would look at my 30s as the busiest time in my life because I'm trying to build a business.
You got to, man.
Trying to take care of my kids, making sure they stay in church, making sure they just trying my best there.
Do you realize in the next 10 years, you'll have a daughter that's dating, you'll have to buy 2 cars, and you'll have to be getting ready to send 2 kids to college in 10 years?
Wow. That's scary.
Not 20, 10. And you've already used up 1.
Gosh, that's wild to think about.
It is.
It really is. I better start saving, huh? Saving more.
I don't think it's a matter of saving. I think it's a matter of thinking smarter.
Tell me how. What do you mean?
I don't know, but I don't think it's just... You can't save yourself into prosperity.
You got to make financial
Money's
decisions.
easier to make than it is to save.
Okay, that's good advice. I like that. To me, saving money comes natural. I hate spending money.
Well, that's just because you're a simple person. It's not just spending. You just don't want stuff.
Exactly.
You just don't want stuff.
It's
that
too
doesn't
much
mean you're
to maintain.
In our business, we maintain enough.
Amen.
We don't want something else to maintain.
That's exactly right. That is exactly how I feel. So, but what you said about, I like that, about changing your perspective versus saving or spending it in investments or figuring something out.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's easier to make it than it is to save it.
I like that. Who told you that?
I've just observed it.
Okay. See, I think
you can spend all day saving money, and you can spend all day you can make more.
Make more money. Yeah.
And plus, if you're working, you're not spending.
That's right. And you always got to be working. You and I are a lot of alike. I think we observe what other people do,
Yeah.
and we
Me and
try
Darren
to.
were alike.
Really?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Really?
He thought just like me.
Okay. Because I do that. I observe like people that are on that next level where I'm headed. I guess there's levels in life. I don't know. But I always observe what they do and how they did it and what not to do, and just try and make a plan.
If I was you, I would just start charging more and doing less jobs.
Charging more, doing less jobs.
Yeah, it's the only way to slow it down.
But do I want to slow it down? I mean, I'm kind of trying to build an empire, but at the same time, I want to be healthy and happy.
Van Morrison says all empires turn into rusty gates.
Who says that?
Van Morrison.
Wow. That's the truth, though.
As he is. He's a poet, sort of. He says all empires turn into rusty gates.
Is he a modern poet?
No, he's actually a songwriter.
Oh, okay.
Maybe the greatest singer-songwriter ever lived, Van Morrison.
Van
Van
Morrison.
Van the man.
Van the
He's
man.
from Ireland.
Wow. I could see that, though, because, I mean, every empire that's ever stood, I mean, their gates are rusty.
Yeah.
The Roman Empire, eventually us, we're no different.
We're no
America
different.
is no different than any other country or empire that's ever existed before. It's just a matter of when.
But we've got to enjoy today and tomorrow.
We do.
Well,
Yeah.
you got five jobs to measure next week, and
Five
when
jobs
do you
to
do
measure.
your billing?
Say what?
When do you do your billing?
It don't no specific time. I mean, just whenever I finish a job, and I do all of the coding. So the first coat, the second coat, the third coat, I do all of that.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's hard getting around.
It is.
You got a shop full of coatings,
I
or
do.
you have to buy it when you need it?
Oh no. We have to. It's made in the United States, and we have to buy a pallet
No.
finish at a time, just because. And we buy probably a pallet every month. I mean, we just every job, you just run.
Do you go
through
into
it.
the office much?
Every day. Every day, me and the guys meet so I get to the office at 6 o'clock every morning.
Golly, it's early.
And I'll do a little devotional there. There's this book called My Utmost for His Highest. And it's a Christian devotional. And that kind of gets my head going in the right direction that morning.
Before you start cussing.
yeah, exactly. So I'll try to get my head going in the right direction, and then I'll lay out, what all I have to do that day and where the guys are going, and then I might make a phone call or two if I know somebody's an early bird, a customer. I might call them, an old timer or something. I'll give them a call because I know they're getting up before I am. And and then the guys, they'll get there at 7:30, and then we're usually there 30 minutes. We're having a meeting, what's going on that day, what do we have to do, where are we going, making sure they have the right sandpaper, the right machines, and then by 8 o'clock we're at Calfee's filling up, and then we're going.
You got an account for gas?
We do, yeah. We have had account.
How much you spend at Calfee's in gas a month?
Oh,
roughly?
Goodness gracious. I would say around $1,500 a month.
That's really not that bad.
Okay,
for
good.
all you got.
That's good. That's good.
Is their gas cheap? I don't even know if it's...
It's about 10 cents more than across the street.
Oh,
but
I couldn't go across the street. I'd never get in and out of there. I'd
No,
end up hitting somebody.
I don't think you go to Calfee's for their cheap gas. I think you go there for their biscuits.
Well, plus you don't have to go around that medium and come. It'd take you another 5 minutes.
Yeah, you're right. And I know all the Calfee's. Ben, he's actually a lamb. The younger man in there, Ben.
Yeah, I know him.
Good guy.
He is. Wears his hat like this.
He does. He's one of those types. He's his own. He's what do they say? He dances to the beat
Marches to
the beat of his own
Probably
drum.
born in February.
Maybe. I'll ask him next time I see him.
Never fails.
Yeah. Born in February. Okay. What is that?
I don't know, but that's what I've noticed that.
But what's that called? I know there's Libras, Leos.
I'm not sure. What is that, Gwen? Do you know February?
No.
We'll have to look
But
that
you
up.
wait and see if you'll find it out, and it'll be just that.
I'll ask him. Wow. But yeah, you don't, like I said, you go to Calfee's for, the biscuits. You see your other trade
Yeah.
men
I see a lot
in
of them. I
there.
saw a shower door guy there Saturday morning.
And a lot of times I'll see people and they're like, hey, Cody, a contractor.
Yeah.
I'm working on a job here in off Parksville Lake. I need 600 feet of flooring. Number 2 red oak.
Where'd I
Selected
get
better.
it? Yeah.
Can you get it to me by Monday? And I'll write his info down. So, you go there for the camaraderie and
It helps.
it does. It does. Yeah.
Cody, it's been great.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dee.
I appreciate you coming.
I appreciate being here. That
What
ring,
is that?
This is my great-grandfather's signet ring, Miller. He got this when he was in Germany. I want to show the camera. In World War II.
From who?
He had it custom made there. And it has an M on it for Miller. And just recently, he gave it to Larry when he died. And just recently, Papaw gave it to me. And I tell you, this ring means more than you could ever.
Don't lose it.
You could offer me $1 million. You want to zoom in on that? You could offer me $1 million. Now, let's do this again. You could offer me $1 million for this ring, and I would not.
How about just 50,000?
Wouldn't do it. I love it's just, it means everything. So, Dee, thank you for
Thank you,
having
man.
me.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's been great.